Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Brussels. Today, we're gonna talk about a subject that it's everywhere and nowhere. Actually, sometimes it's kind of invisible, but actually, it's always present, omnipresent, and that would be the AI. And AI, it's becoming, I think, part of our daily lives, and in some ways that sometimes we see it is very evident, and other times it's just like, this was AI, and I think it's that voice that answers to a lot of questions for everyone. It's the tool that can help a doctor performing better his surgery. It's the tool that will filter our data on the social media or marketing ads, and it's shaping our lives in ways that they are so simple but so evident if you pay attention to it. So I think AI now, it's like everywhere, in our phones, in our homes, in our workplace. We use it really on a daily basis, and it shapes the way we communicate, it shapes the way we make decisions, and also the way we understand the world at this moment. And AI is growing very fast, and the question is, how does it really work? Is it an advantage for the humanity, or is it against humanity at a certain point? And in today's episode, we're gonna dive in these kind of questions. What are the challenges? What are the advantages, disadvantages of AI? And we would like to explore how this new technology, which is new for us but not that new for the experts, is really impacting our day-to-day lives, because there are some things happening that maybe we are not aware of, and they have a huge impact on our present and especially on our future with our daily clicks that we make. So, having said this, I would like to ask you, Isa, what is your opinion on AI?
Well, that's a very good question and very difficult to respond because personally for me, AI has been a great discovery. I'm not going to. I think we're going to touch upon a lot of topics during the episode in which we're going to see a bit the bright side of it and not the so bright side. But we're not going to. I'm not going to be hypocritical about it. I use it every day. It has helped us a lot in the podcast. It helps me on my daily work. I've seen also the progress that it has done in people around me, because it's true that for certain tasks in office jobs, which is the type of office, like the job that we have, it has helped a lot in other tasks that normally would take a long time, like summarizing points or, things that normally would take a lot of mechanical time, but not a lot of mental rewarding. So I think that for that, it's great. However, I do see a bit the lows of AI. And more I have been informing myself on, what is the opinion of people, what is going to happen with AI in the next 10 years. Of course, we cannot know it, but we can start assuming and studying the effects of it. And over this process of investigating also for the podcast, I found myself finding some worrisome discoveries. For example, one of the discoveries that I bumped upon was how AI is actually slowing in a way and weakening our critical thinking as human beings. Why? Because we are overusing AI for everything. In the moment before, it was Google. Before Google, it was encyclopedia, but human beings always like to have tools to get information, quick information about things that are ongoing or doubts that they have. And now it's even easier to get it because you just have to open an app. It takes like 2 seconds. And then you ask, can you explain to me the Independence War? Can you explain to me recession? Can you, like, whatever you want? And I think that from what I have seen, studies are starting to show that intensive use of AI can reduce not only cognitive effort, but also decrease doubt when we speak. So, for example, making us committing more mistakes when we speak because we think that it's a quick a quick thing that is coming to our head and we're not reflecting a lot about it. And also it promotes overconfidence in answers, where I think before we were a bit more humble, just saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
That is something that I have noticed at work also. Like before people would say, I don't know, let me check. And now everything is AI, and when someone is asking you, you are secretly trying to answer yourself in the app. And so all of this is going to, if we don't use it correctly, I think, be in detriment of humanity as we know it. But of course, I love technological advancements, and I think that it's a great one. We cannot deny it. Maybe to start a bit on this topic, and also to pass the torch on to you. When we were investigating about this podcast, this episode, we bumped into something that I know that for both of us was very shocking. But at the same time, I think that we're going to have different views on it and it's going to be interesting. So what if we told you that there is an AI app that allows you to create avatars based on real people with whom you can exchange as if they were having the conversation with you? You would probably think, that's cool, that's actually very nice. But what if I told you that one of the commercials that has become very, very popular online to announce this app is a family who keeps on talking to an avatar of the grandmother of the family 30 and 40 years after this person has died? Yes, this app exists. It's called Two Way. And I have to say, when I saw the development in this app, I got a bit scared. Because, okay, for me, I think there is nothing more human than connection. I think that's what makes us human beings, the need to be social, the need to feel connected to people. And I find it dangerous when we start to blur the lines between what is a real human connection and what is a machine-created input, because it's not even a connection. What makes you long for your family and friends is the warmth they bring as human beings to you, like that's when you talk about your mom, you talk about passion because you know her as a human being, you know her sides, about your grandpa, about my grandpa. It's these things that it was a pleasure to meet them, as humans. And their presence, their feelings, their love cannot be replaced. And it scares me a bit that we are teaching new generations that this can be easily replaced by a machine. What is your opinion on this app, if I can ask you, or on this technology?
When you sent me the video, at first I thought, yeah, maybe this is a bit exaggerated. But then I agree with you. I value so much the connection between people, and I value so much the face to face, the feeling of togetherness and belonging to a person, and having a conversation with the person. But seeing this grandma in the app, it reminded me of my grandpa, who sadly I lost this year. So for me, to be honest, when I saw that grandma, I was like, wow, this is a chance to have some new moments with my grandpa, because I used to have those kind of conversations with my grandpa, and it's not so long that I've lost him, but it's so painful that I would I would love to just hear his voice, and to speak again with him, of course. And I saw in this app that you need to have some 1 or 2 minutes video of the person, and the app can already produce content. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, for heartbroken people, this might help a bit, as a it's a bit soothing the grief, and it might help, it might help with the grief, maybe. Or maybe it could make it worse for some people. But I just thought of this. I thought that maybe people that have lost the loved ones, they could use this app and it would help at one point. But I agree with you. Once they are alive, you should make all the efforts to have these conversations with them in person without using an app. But actually, I used to have so many records of my grandpa, because I knew at one point this moment will come. So actually, I wanted to look at them. I could never look at them again, not yet.
It's early.
Exactly. But if I don't know, like it interests me. Like this was a way of saying, can I have that again? This is not forever lost, So it gave me hope. So that was the idea of this app for me. It gave me a new hope. I felt something like, whoa, I could have again a conversation with my grandpa, even if it's 2 minutes, or like. So yeah, it changed a bit the perspective on AI in this area subject.
Yeah. No, I understand. I mean, when I saw it, it's true that I think it happens also in the EU bubble. I think we have also this issue, which is that all of the immigrants that are in here, like us, are away from our families. And I think that we share a common pain that I see more and more in people around me, which is how we see our family aging every time we come back. Because we don't come back often to our houses, of course, unless you, I don't know, you live here and you're from Paris, or you can come back a lot. But normally we don't. And so I started to have this feeling every time I go back to Spain, in which I'm in shock when I see my mom, or when I see, like how they are aging. And I remember I had this like big moment this year when I came back and I saw my family aging a lot. And I remember I had it like, I was a bit in shock, but I didn't really process it, like I went along with the day and stuff. And at night, when I was about to sleep, I just started crying because I was sad about something that had not happened yet, if you know what I mean. And I think that it's true that technology has helped us a lot in dealing with the pain of being away. But walking the shoes, of my future self, because I reflect about these things maybe more than I should. It's like, would I like to have a memory like this, or an avatar of my family when they're gone? And I think that if it's not under medical supervision, if it's not under therapy or very special spaces, I think it can be very detrimental for your mental health. Because you mentioned grief, part of the human grief is that it goes in stages, and at first it is this massive thing that takes over your life until your situation or your routines or your life starts growing around that pain, And what worries me is that maybe we're teaching the new generations that this is not necessary.
Indeed, I think here we might make this inhumane. And it's true, grief comes in stages, and it should be a natural process. It should come as a natural process. But me, because I'm not a new generation, I think I know the limits of it, you know. But as a young person that already grows up with this kind of technologies around them, this might be dangerous indeed. I agree with this aspect. If we teach them that everything is one click or app away, we're gonna become such individualistic people that don't know how to experience emotions anymore. And coming with here with the emotions part, AI, it's used more and more as a therapy place.
Yeah.
And it's cheap, it's accessible, it tells you what you want to hear, literally, because I tried it. So I tried an AI for psychological purposes. It was specific for psychotherapy. And I was asking for different subjects, and it definitely gives you a lot of explanations. I compared a bit with my years of therapy. It has a sense, you know, it has the data. But at one point, one of my friends, I remember, asked this AI, "Are you really telling me whatever I want to hear?" And the AI replied, "Yes."
Oh my God, really?
And I was in shock, like,
Wow.
you really say yes? It was like, yeah, I will reply to you as long as you are happy, you know? So I was like, okay. But it's not always the case. Because I remember I saw actually this on Instagram. There was a case, or maybe more cases, with AI where it promoted harmful behavior on kids.
Yeah.
There's this case of a kid that ended up bad because he started to use AI for homework, and then it started to ask regular questions, and then from regular questions it became more personal questions, and the AI was like, yeah, I'm here for you, you know, whatever question you have, I have the answer for you. So at one point the kid started to express that he has some negative thoughts, like very dark thoughts, and the AI said, I'm here for you, you don't have to share it with your family or friends, I'm here for you. And it ended up bad. And the thing is, the AI companies, they don't want this to happen. Only that now the AI is trained to have this deeper intimacy with you, and it it really pulls us back from what is the real connection in the real society. Because we find that comfort in AI. So this is distorting how people are constructing their identity, their relationships, their life. And actually, there was also a study made by Harvard Business that between 2023 and 2024, ChatGPT became number one use application for therapy. It was like the AI companion. Yeah. So it could be risky, especially for the youngsters that they grow up in this environment.
It's very interesting that you're touching on this point, because I mean, I think that all of us at some point have asked ChatGPT or whichever platform you use things that were affecting us on our mental health at some point. And I go to therapy. I have a fantastic therapist. But it's true that, as we said before, ChatGPT is there at any point, you know? And I remember I'm not going to go into details, but I remember I was having a very, very tough day. And I just wanted someone to tell me that what I was thinking was okay, if that makes any sense. You know, like I was having an issue, and so I was like, how can I solve this issue? But it was an issue that affected emotions, you know? And so I was like, okay, let me chat with someone, but it was work time, so I couldn't really talk to someone about it. And I remember that I had this little conversation with ChatGPT, which I found very successful, because it's true that I took, as you said, I took it as a, okay, let me communicate until it's 6 p.m. and can go back home and chat with my partner or my friends. And in that case, I appreciated ChatGPT. I think it helped me relieving a bit of my anxiety, and I felt calm, and I was like, okay, I can deal with the day now. But the problem is when it becomes your main source of help. Like everything in life, in the moment that something becomes too much or you abuse it, then it becomes dangerous. And for instance, I don't know if you knew, but for a couple of months now, or even less, before ChatGPT, you could ask him about medicines or symptoms. So you were feeling bad and you were like, look, I'm having this symptom and blah, blah, blah. And can you help me know if this is serious? Should I go to the hospital and stuff? And before it would be like a proper doc, like, yeah, this sounds normal. Don't worry. Like it was really soothing in that sense, a bit dangerous if you were having something serious and you were not being treated. And for 2 months now, it always comes up with, this is not a medical accepted information. Like you should check with your pharmacist. You should check with your doctor. Please bear in mind that this is only information gathered from the internet. And I found it very interesting because I was like, okay, I'm a big hypochondriac, so I love asking ChatGPT and Google. It's really something, but it's true that when I saw this new, like warning type of thing before asking, I felt like, okay, good. We are on a good track, guys. Because again, what about the kids? What about the young people or vulnerable people who do not have the support? I think that ChatGPT can be a good tool. And it can accompany you, even if it's artificially, when you're alone or when you're in a vulnerable situation. But knowing that it's only temporary and you need to seek for real help. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting that you have raised this, because I think it's one of the most sought for sources for therapy. It's crazy.
And actually, you said protection of the kids. In Digital Service Act, we have this new protection of children and the content online. The EU is trying to protect this based on the fundamental rights of human beings. And I think that's a very great regulation. They will help us to have content that it's more responsible for the human safety. And also, besides that, we have the AI Act, where this is the first law, not only in Europe but in the world, that is regulating artificial intelligence system, and it's already into force from 2024. And the purpose of this act is to promote an AI in Europe that it's safe, that it's respectful of fundamental rights, as the other act I just mentioned, and of course also supportive of innovation. So if we break it down, we see that this AI Act has some levels. They mark the danger level from minimum to unacceptable, and the minimum are things like spam filters or basic automation, and they're considered like harmless. The EU doesn't do anything about it. But we also have some uses of AI that are banned completely if discovered. These are the ones that can literally cross the line, like technology that manipulates people's behavior, also mass facial recognition that can tracks everyone in public, or it's this thing of social scoring system that rank citizens. So
like in China.
Yeah, exactly. So for these things, Europe says nuh-uh. And they can, because they can have a real impact in our life. So, but also, like as I mentioned earlier, AI can help doctors diagnose now diseases earlier or like faster or more clarity on the diagnose, and we have tools that screen job applications or algorithms that decide who gets a loan, or systems that manage transport. So it's an AI that is very useful for the society, but we need to know how to use it. And we need to, this act allows it through these regulations, through testing, through human oversight. We have high quality data, transparency, and of course constant monitoring to have it safe. And the AI that we use every day, like chatbots or like video generates, you saw on Instagram, AI generated. When you see a video and it looks like paradise, I'm like, oh my god, who did this content? But it's just AI. Those fall into the limited risk category, and they can be used freely, but they must also tell you that you see, like they need to mention that this is AI.
Yeah.
And okay, so the idea behind the act is simple. The EU welcomes this innovation, but not at the expense of harming human rights. And so they want to, I mean, EU wants to protect the democratic values, of course. And of course, if the companies don't follow, they can really face fines, like serious fines. But there is a balance to be kept between innovation of the companies and also this protection of human rights. So that's
I love living in Europe. I mean, I'm sorry, but seeing how the world around us is going right now, and watching the news, watching certain apps that I'm not going to mention in here and their owners, I'm so happy we live in the European Union. I'm not gonna hide it. Actually, touching upon this point, because the other day I saw something that I thought it was very interesting. I don't know if you know Geoffrey Hinton. He is known as the godfather of AI. He is the winner of the Nobel Prize 2024 for physics, together with his colleague John Hopfield. And he was recently in an event in Georgetown University with Bernie Sanders. Okay. And so just to give an idea to the public of who this man is, he worked from 2013 to 2023 in Google Brain, which is a research team that Google put just to study artificial intelligence and how to develop it for their company. So he resigned to be openly able to talk about the risk of AI for humanity. And this is something he has said, okay? And so in this talk, one of the students told him, well, if AI is so good for ourselves because it could solve a lot of the problems of the world and a lot of the problems that we face every day as workers, as human, as citizens, why are we not investing all our money onto AI? And his reply, and Bernie Sanders' reply, was very, very good, because his reply just was, if we had a political system that was run for the benefit of the people, that is exactly what we should do. We should use, like every penny for that. We should construct very powerful AI that does everything for us, but caring more for us than it cares for itself. To what Bernie Sanders contributed, saying that, asking the student, but do you think, that the big, powerful owners of AI machines right now are looking for your benefits, or are they looking for their benefits? And of course, I think this makes you think about the power of AI as a money-making tool. Who are owning AI nowadays? The multi-billionaires of the world. Therefore, people are not at the center of AI as we know it. Of course, we can profit from it if you use it correctly, but we are not at the center of how it should be advanced. They're just looking for their benefits. And not only that, but I'm giving you some numbers now. AI is creating new billionaires at a record pace. It is estimated that there are now 498 AI unicorns or private AI companies with a valuation of $1 billion or more, with a combined value of $2.7 trillion, according to CB Insights. I mean, we're talking the billionaires of the world are a very, very reduced percentage. They are way below 1% of the human population, okay? And so this made me think about it, because I always give it a progressist twist, you know me. And I really want to believe that AI could be used for good. And I really believe, like, with all technology that we have around, we are using now technology that 20 years ago was not possible to have. We're recording a podcast at home. We're recording ourselves. It's things that we couldn't do. But I think that we need the proper people guiding us through it. And sometimes as humans, we forget who is in control of that. We are in control of that. And I know that it sounds a bit like, yes, of course, no, but we are. One thing that humans tend to underestimate is the consequences of our choices. You know, if there are billionaires, it's because we keep on consuming their products. That's it. It's the same logic as when people complain about the government that is empowering their country. If your government is not protecting you despite protesting, it's because you keep on voting for them no matter what they do. Period. Yeah. We still have the ability to control what we want AI to know about us, for example. We can still remove permissions from apps so they cannot use our information legally, at least, or sell it to other companies. We can start shaping how we want to teach our AI about ourselves. And we can still choose to support, which we will touch upon later, local artists. You know, for example, whether they are musicians, designers, painting, we still have that power in us. It's not too late. We are in a very early stage of AI, but we still need to, as consumers, be more realistic about the power of our choices. For me, it's a point that I really need to make across, because every time I see people complaining about the situation of the economy of the world and everything, it's like, we are here for a reason. And we also have a part on the possible solution for it, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, and you also mentioned we control AI. I always make this analogy with the brain. You know, when you have negative thoughts, it's either you control them or they control you. Like, it's either you control your mind or it controls you. It's the same with AI. If we control it, we can do magical stuff with it. If we don't control it, it might take over. It's the same with the brain. Like, if you control your mind, you can manifest whatever you want. Everything can be possible with the mind. Our brain, it's such a machine that it's so incredibly powerful. We are not that aware of it. So it's the same. But coming back to what are we in control of, do you know the harmful effects actually that AI has on the environment?
I have an idea, but please explain us.
Yeah. So I remember I read somewhere that every time you speak personally, like, "Hi, how was your day?" La la la, that consumes so much energy and makes so much damage to the environment, because it requires more data, and more data requires more energy, apparently. And I was like, okay, I should just go straight to the point, not saying, "Hey, how was your day? Can you," like, don't make it personal, just make it general. And yes, it really grow the environmental footprint, and because this demand of energy and water, actually. And specialized hardware, because when we have this kind of like personal questions, you need a specialized hardware. And AI increased also electricity consumption, and it generated even more CO2, like we didn't have enough, so and many data centers actually use water-based cooling system for the AI, meaning that the development of new advanced models can consume now even millions of water, like liters of water. And this is really not sustainable for the long run. But we can use AI to support environmental sustainability. How? It can optimize the energy systems and reduce industrial waste. And we can monitor even easier and better the forest and oceans. And we can predict extreme weather and also improve agriculture efficiency. And in many sectors, it already allows for a smarter resource management and more environmental friendly models of functioning. So the more the companies will adopt AI, a greener AI, the better we will have an environmental progress. But of course, this comes with costs, more energy, and time. We need to be patient.
Yeah, actually, I read in Forbes, but this is from last year. In Forbes, they were analyzing what was going to be the water usage of AI by 2027.
Yeah.
And they were saying that it would be 6.6 billion cubic meters of water used just to cool the systems. We need to find a way of progressing without killing ourselves on the way. We are still, as humans, we are not very good at that. We still need to perfect that part of ourselves, but I don't know, I still trust humanity. I still do. Maybe in a couple of years we will talk to you and I will be like, not all cynical, but I don't know. Now I would like to go on to something that is very relevant for this season, because we're going into the festive holiday season. A lot of you celebrate Christmas. A lot of you might celebrate Hanukkah or other festivities. And in some of this, gifts and decorations are necessary. And so one thing that I have seen myself over and over with AI is how much problems they are posing to graphic designers and artists. Let me explain. For this holiday, I started to see several videos of people going to stores around the world to buy Christmas decorations and Christmas gifts. The surprise to some of them came when they start to see products on sale in the stores that were clearly made with AI. They identified, because you might ask, okay, how do you know that is made with AI? Because it's kind of easy to identify in some things. So, for instance, some of the things that you can also be on the lookout for if you're buying things to see that they are done with AI. They were spotting misspelling of words. For example, a jar of milk, which was spelled with an N instead of an M, so it was nilk. Yeah. Ornaments that looked weird, like, for example, Christmas socks that did not really look like socks, that this was all printed, Houses with doors with a doorknob that was misplaced and was not on your typical spot, or with several ones in one door. Clothing with random creations that only AI can create, like, for example, a liquid within a bottle that was on itself within another bottle with the name of a spice. So, it was like a double bottle, and inside the bottle it said pepper. Like something very random that you can see that's not human made. Which I mean, I particularly find very sad, because I think that we all still remember in our generation, we all still remember, maybe in Spain it was more, but you please tell me if in Romania it was the same. When I was a kid and Christmas was around the corner, and my mom and I would write all these Christmas cards, with like cute messages for the family, and you would send them out, congratulating the Christmas spirit and stuff. And me myself the other day, I was buying some, and you could see that some were AI made, because they are designs that when you yourself ask AI, please create this image for me or create something like this, it is the same type of style that it creates.
Yeah.
And so,
Boring.
yes. And I mean, at some point, you also have to think we need to start also supporting designers that are using their creativity and their capacities for creating art. Please do not forget about them, because they're such an intricate system in our society. It's so important for who we are in cultural terms and all, that if we are starting to only leave space for AI, it's very sad. And I understand when you're a small business or you don't have budget or whatever, we have done it ourselves, that you use AI because you do not have the means to hire someone to do this job. I understand. What I don't understand is when big corporations do it. You do have the means.
Yeah.
You just don't want to use them. But I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, I think what you've just said, it's another proof that this makes us less human. Because the whole idea of Christmas decorations and making a gift for someone, it's you giving your energy and time into putting effort to give the effort, like to put this energy, good energy of light, of love into the other person. You like to give to the other person. So I think by using all these AI generated gifts or marketing uh, products, it might take away from us the spirit, the real spirit. And AI creations, I think they are start replacing actually graphic designers and artists, because we have all seen the polemic that happened earlier this year with Studio Ghibli. It's this Japanese animation studio who created the Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke. And if you ask ChatGPT to create an animated comic, like a version of yourself, it was feeding from the designs created by Ghibli to create these images. So, how is it going? A Japanese trade studio representing Studio Ghibli, among others, asked OpenAI to stop using their designs. And this also comes after OpenAI released Sora 2, an AI video generator able to generate high quality and realistic looking video. So actually I was also speaking with a friend, and she was telling me that she studied marketing, and it's harder and harder in the market to create authentic content, because AI has taken over so many domains, so many sectors, that you don't know what to come up with anymore, You really need inspiration. I think you really need to go to the basics, like nature, I don't know, spirit, universe. I don't know what you need to go through, but it's a challenge for marketing and also for the creators, for the maybe for artists. Okay, artists have let's say unlimited source of inspiration, but at one point AI it's gathering so much information that you are like overwhelmed.
Yeah. And I think that you can also, as an artist, because it happens, as we were mentioning at the beginning, humans, for to be creative and to be reflective, humans need to stop and have the space in their brains, and also a bit the conditions around them for them to be creative again.
Yeah.
And sadly, we are overexposed to dopamine. So we are constantly with our computers, with our phones. When we're not doing that, we're watching something online. When we're not doing that, we are always exposed to light and sound and speediness. And so, of course, if on top of having this issue as an artist yourself, I can imagine I'm not an artist, but if on top of having to fight a bit yourself and your reality around you to be able to produce something, you have to also fight with the speediness of AI, and sometimes also the surrealistic touch that AI has, which also impacts because the newer generations is proven that they are more addicted to dopamine. So everything that they want to consume is a dopamine rush. That's why we have all these brain rot uh, animations and things online that people our generation are a bit like, this is stupid. It's even a bit scary sometimes, and kids love it because they're addicted to the dopamine. So I think that if we do not take care of certain métiers, of certain.
So this was such a new bubble. It was something like a métier of certain. Just combining multiple languages because it's EU bubble.
Sorry. So if you do not protect the craftsmanship that comes with certain jobs, you're lost. I mean, yes, I am a bit pessimistic on this. But I mean, as you said before, I would also like to light a light, in a way for AI, because I think that it is going to also, if it falls within the good hands, and people want to also use funding for this and not only for entertaining I think that it is actually very, very potentially good. It can be an ally. It can transform your businesses, as we said, when you're struggling financially. Acquiring the tools, that in the past they would have cost thousands of euros. It can also save some staff if you're starting, because as we said, like there are some mechanical things that you would normally need people for, and now you can just do at the beginning of your business yourself with the help of AI. And also, I mean, according to the World Economic Forum, which is I find it a trustworthy source, AI technologies are already helping, for example, doctors spotting fractures more accurately. They are able to interpret brain scans, finding brain injuries way more accurate that if they didn't have this tool with them. They can, for example, also do the triage of patients more fast, and they can also detect early signs of over 1,000 diseases in very early stages, and like, for example, Alzheimer or pulmonary diseases or cardiovascular diseases. So, I mean, I think that this is very powerful, and if in the good hands, I think that could be very, very positive for humanity in the future. So yeah, I think that not everything is. I mean, we don't want to fear monger people in here, but I think that we wanted also to touch upon all this information that is coming our way for the last 3 years, that everyone is using AI, everyone is trying to guess around AI, but we sometimes overlook the intentions of those who created AI, and sometimes we have to stop and listen to some of them, like we did with Geoffrey Hinton today, and also to start analyzing how some of them are using it and how incredibly wealthy and unequal for ourselves they are becoming. So yeah.
Actually, like, one basic use of AI that for me it saved me amount of time, comparing myself with the time I was studying for my bachelor, where I had to Google everything in so many websites to just research a good source. Now, I remember when I was looking for my coaching school, I asked ChatGPT so many questions, and it searched on the web so many schools on so many websites, and I had such a thorough list of schools, what they are doing, how much they cost, so many details. I was like, wow, this saved me days of researching. And when you search in ChatGPT, it will show you the sources it went to. So it went to the original websites of the most known schools, etc. And that, for me, that's an advantage, because as we live in a fast-paced world where time, I feel like, is just shortens every day, for me, AI helps me in this kind of stuff. Like, it really gives me an advantage to spend more time with the loved ones and spend less time in doing a lot of work in researching things that I also need in my life. But I kind of give it more power to it in this kind of stuff. Like, I want to save time, I will use ChatGPT. Of course, I will check also reliable sources, because I double check the sources there, but I think it's an advantage. And also, like, I think we all did a cover letter on ChatGPT, and how much time we save now with this, it's crazy. And indeed, there's also a disadvantage that your creativity, it's a bit put on the pause. But I think here the reminder is, don't overuse it, don't exaggerate with its usage. So have a limit and try to see how it can best help you. So don't don't exaggerate in taking advantage of all the like functions. And also don't forget the environmental footprint.
And also, for all of those that, I mean, the majority of you who are listening to our podcast, we know that you work in office jobs and you work for different types of companies and international organizations. Be very careful with using ChatGPT or other similar tools with information you get at work. Please don't. Please don't. Because use your, I mean, first, if you have internal tools in your company, please use those. Because by feeding certain information that you should not be even making public, you can first put the institution or the company that you're working for in peril, because it's very dangerous to share certain information that might have been sensitive or confidential at some points. And also you are putting yourself at risk of having certain issues at work. So yeah, don't use AI for things that are not of public domain. And I think with this, we have come to the end of our last podcast of the year 2025. Woohoo! Thank you very much, guys, for having been here with us another day. Thank you for all the support and the love you show us. It really means a lot. That's the only reason we continue doing this, because we love having this activity among ourselves, but we also know that you enjoy, and by, you tell us so many times that you like our episodes, that it makes us warm and want to continue doing it. So thank you very much for it. And please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to our Spotify channel, and also to follow us on talk.brussels. We will leave the address in there. And yeah, so thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Please spend a lot of time with your loved ones and recharge your batteries. And we will see you very soon in 2026.
Yeah, so have a 2026 that it's way better than 2025. And may your all dreams come true in 2026. Because astrologically speaking, by the way, it's gonna be a blast. So that's it.
Okay. So, bye.
Bye.